Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before you blink, before your defenses come up, hear this. Most men lose women, not because they're weak, but because they touch without understanding. That sentence should make you uncomfortable. Good. If this already stirs something in you, pause for half a second, like the video, subscribe to the channel, because what I'm about to share will quietly change how women experience you forever. I'm speaking to you as a psychologist, but also as a woman who has watched countless mature women fall in love slowly, deeply, and irreversibly, often without realizing the exact moment it began. And it never starts with sex, it starts with safety wrapped in intention. The first touch is not where you think it is. It's not your hands, it's your presence. When you enter her space without rushing, without grabbing, without trying to extract something from her, her nervous system notices before her mind does. A mature woman has lived. She has been disappointed. Her body remembers what her mouth may never tell you. When you sit beside her and allow silence to breathe instead of filling it, that is a touch. It tells her, I am not here to take, I am here to stay. Then comes the way you offer your attention. When you gently place your hand on the back of a chair for her, or open space for her to move comfortably, you're signaling leadership without domination. Her body relaxes because you're predictable, grounded, and calm. These are rare traits. Don't underestimate their power. Another touch happens when you listen without correcting, fixing, or performing. When she speaks and you don't interrupt, don't one-up, don't drift away with your eyes, she feels held. For a mature woman, being emotionally held is far more intoxicating than being physically desired. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men never hear. She decides whether she could love you long before you ever touch her skin. Every respectful pause, every moment of restraint, every time you choose intention over impulse, you are touching her future imagination. If you feel a quiet shift in yourself right now, that's not an accident. That's awareness settling in. Stay with me. The second touch is subtle, but it separates boys from men instantly. It's the way you make contact with her hand for the first time. Not grabbing, not lingering awkwardly, not performing confidence. A mature woman reads micro-movements. When your fingers meet hers with calm certainty, steady, warm, unhurried, you communicate something powerful. I am grounded, and grounded men feel safe. When you guide her through a doorway with a gentle touch at the center of her back, just enough pressure to signal direction but not control, her body registers leadership without force. That specific placement matters. Too low feels invasive, too high feels distant. The middle of her back says, I've got you, without saying a word. And here's what most men never understand. The timing of release is more important than the touch itself. If you let go first, smoothly, confidently, you create space. Space builds curiosity. Curiosity builds emotional momentum. Clinging kills attraction. But releasing at the right moment tells her you are not afraid of distance. And men who are not afraid of distance feel powerful. A mature woman has likely experienced men who held on too long. Men who squeezed tighter when they felt her slipping away. When you don't do that, you stand out immediately. Now let's talk about eye contact paired with touch. When you lightly touch her hand and hold her gaze, not intensely, not challengingly, but warmly, you activate something deeper than chemistry. You activate recognition. She begins to wonder, why does this feel different? Because it is. You're not touching to get somewhere. You're touching to connect. There's a massive psychological difference. One creates pressure, the other creates pull. The key is emotional congruence. If your touch is calm, but your energy is desperate, she will feel the mismatch. If your touch is confident, but your voice is uncertain, she will feel the crack in your frame. Mature women are experts at detecting incongruence. So before your fingers ever meet her skin, regulate yourself, slow your breathing, relax your shoulders, be present. Your nervous system must feel steady before hers will soften. When your touch says, I am comfortable with myself, she begins imagining what it would feel like to be comfortable with you. And that is when attraction stops being surface level and starts becoming emotional gravity. The third touch doesn't even require contact at first, and that's what makes it dangerous in the best way. It's the moment when you mirror her emotional rhythm, instead of trying to speed it up. A mature woman is not impressed by urgency. She's repelled by it. When you lean in emotionally, at the same pace she opens, her body feels understood. And being understood is far rarer than being desired. When you finally do touch her after that mirroring, it lands deeper. This touch often happens during laughter, a light brush of your forearm against hers, as you both share a moment. Not a grab, not a squeeze, just a brief, natural connection that feels accidental, but isn't. Her brain associates the warmth of your touch with emotional safety and joy at the same time. That pairing is powerful. Here's the psychology behind it. The human brain anchors feelings to moments. When positive emotion and physical presence overlap, attachment begins forming quietly. She doesn't think, "I'm falling for him." She feels, "I like how I feel around him." And that feeling grows roots. Another version of this touch is reassurance without words. When she pauses mid-sentence or doubts herself, and you give a gentle nod or a soft touch on her arm that says, "I'm here, continue." You're not rescuing her, you're supporting her. That distinction matters more than you know. Mature women have learned to be self-sufficient. They don't want to be saved, they want to be seen. Your touch should never imply she's fragile. It should imply she's valued. Now listen carefully. The power of this touch comes from restraint. If you repeat it too often, it loses meaning. Scarcity creates significance. One well-timed, emotionally aligned touch will outweigh 10 careless ones. Men who struggle with attraction often think they need to escalate faster. In reality, slowing down is what deepens impact. When you're patient, she fills in the blanks with her imagination, and her imagination is far more seductive than anything you could force. If you've ever wondered why some men seem unforgettable without trying, this is why. They let moments breathe. They allow connection to unfold naturally, and when they touch, it feels earned. At this stage, she may not call it love, but her nervous system is already learning that you feel like home. The fourth touch is almost invisible, but it leaves the deepest imprint. It's called anticipatory touch, and it works because it's not about what you do, it's about what you make her feel before contact even happens. Think about the last time someone moved in your space and you felt completely at ease. That calm, magnetic energy. That's anticipatory touch. You communicate it before your hands ever reach her skin. The way you position your body in a conversation, the subtle lean forward when she speaks, the micro smile that hints at attention and understanding. All of this is a prelude, a silent caress that sets the stage for emotional intimacy. When you anticipate her comfort, she begins to trust you almost instinctively. Her body relaxes, her shoulders drop, her heartbeat slows, and in that stillness, every later touch lands heavier, richer. She may never articulate it, but she feels it. And mature women, especially, are wired to recognize that subtle attentiveness. They can spot a man who feels her from a mile away. The key here is observation. Watch how she shifts, how she responds to light contact, how she adjusts her posture. The moment you notice these details and respond with precision, a slight touch on her elbow, as you guide her through a crowded room, your hand briefly grazing hers, when you pass something, it's electric. She notices, and her mind tags you as someone safe, considerate, and worth remembering. But the secret of anticipatory touch is timing and intention. Never touch to fill silence. Never touch to manipulate. Touch only to enhance the natural flow of your interaction. If your intention is purely to awaken emotion, rather than claim her body, the effect is almost hypnotic. Mature women are experts at spotting desperation, entitlement, or insecurity. Any hint of those, and your touch backfires. But a calm, precise, anticipatory touch, that's irresistible. It says, "I understand you," even before you speak. It's a subtle promise of consistency, reliability, and presence, the foundation of emotional attachment. This touch, practiced correctly, makes her feel seen before you even speak, desired before you even lean in, and safe before you even hold her hand. It's quiet, almost unnoticeable, but its impact echoes long after you've left the room. Here's the truth most men overlook. The way she feels about you before skin touches skin determines the intensity of everything that follows. Anticipatory touch sets the emotional stage for every deeper connection yet to come. The fifth touch is the one that most men completely miss, and it's the one that creates obsession. It's what I call the grounding touch. Unlike fleeting or playful touches, this one anchors her to you emotionally and physically without overwhelming her. Imagine this: you're sitting across from her, talking about something trivial, but your hand brushes hers lightly on the table. You don't hold it, you don't squeeze, you just let your fingers rest there for a heartbeat. That brief contact tells her, without words, I am present, I am steady, you are safe with me. And for a mature woman, safety is intoxicating. Grounding touch is not about control, it's about presence. The way you place your hand on her shoulder while sharing a story, or the slight reassuring pressure at the small of her back as you guide her, signals calm confidence. Mature women can feel the difference between someone who is genuinely secure and someone who is faking it. This touch communicates that your inner world is stable, and in turn, her mind relaxes. There's a deep psychological reason this works. A mature woman has been let down before. She has been with men whose touch was empty, whose presence was fleeting. When you offer grounding touch, you reverse that pattern. You provide something rare, consistency that can be felt, not just promised. That sensory reassurance creates a chemical reaction in her brain. Oxytocin rises, attachment deepens, and her nervous system starts to crave your presence. But here's the secret most men fail to grasp. Grounding touch is powerful because it's intentional, but it's subtle. Overdoing it destroys the effect. Light, timely, and meaningful, never clingy, is what creates magnetic pull. One perfect, anchored touch beats 10 sloppy attempts. Also, notice the timing. You want her to anticipate it, not dread it. When she starts feeling unsure or distracted, a gentle, steady touch reconnects her without words. It's like saying, I am here, I see you, you can relax now. That silent reassurance lingers long after the moment passes. The most effective men don't realize how much power they have in their hands. They think touch is physical. It's not, it's emotional. When you master grounding touch, you control how she feels, how she trusts, and how she imagines you in her life. This is where attraction deepens into something unforgettable. Every touch that follows builds on this foundation. She's now not just curious about you, she's anchored to you. Her body begins to recognize that wherever you are, she can feel stability. And that is the moment she starts falling, silently, steadily, irrevocably. The sixth touch is the one that creates longing before desire. I call it the absent touch. It's paradoxical. The less you physically engage, the more she thinks about you, the more she craves you. This is the secret men rarely understand. Here's how it works. After moments of grounding, anticipation, and subtle connection, you pull back slightly, not because you're cold, but because you're intentional. You let her linger in the memory of your touch. That light graze on her hand, the gentle pressure at her back, the warmth of your shoulder next to hers. Don't repeat it immediately. Let it echo. Let her mind fill in the blanks. Her imagination will do the work your hands can't. Mature women are experts at reading patterns. If you are constantly present, constantly touching, constantly confirming, she begins to take it for granted. Absence, done right, is magnetic. It triggers subtle yearning and curiosity, and the emotional intensity skyrockets without a single word being spoken. But absence is not avoidance, it's strategic restraint. When you remove yourself just enough to create a space she can feel, she begins to internalize your presence. Her mind replays the moments you were near, the way your fingers brushed hers, the steadiness in your eyes. She begins to associate you with comfort, pleasure, and stability even when you're not there. That mental touch becomes addictive. This touch also teaches her to respect your boundaries. Mature women are attracted to men who have an inner life, who are not defined by her presence. By practicing the absent touch, you convey that your world is full, your energy is not consumed by need, and yet she still matters in it. That contrast ignites emotional tension, the kind that turns admiration into fascination. Here's what most men miss. You don't need to chase desire. Desire will chase you if you understand timing, restraint, and emotional rhythm. Your absences create a magnetic pull. She begins anticipating your next touch, your next smile, your next word. Every subtle interaction becomes more potent, more meaningful. Mastering the absent touch transforms attraction from fleeting to enduring. She is no longer just enjoying your company. She is thinking about you when you're gone. And once her mind starts chasing your presence, you've entered a realm most men will never reach. A mature woman quietly, irresistibly drawn to you before even realizing why. The seventh touch is the most powerful of all, and it's the one that seals her emotional surrender. I call it the integration touch. This is where every previous touch, the anticipatory, the grounding, the absent, converges. It's no longer just a brush of skin or a fleeting gesture. It's a moment that tells her, you and I belong in the same space, emotionally and mentally. Integration touch is layered. It's the way your hand finds hers at the perfect moment. Not too early, not too late. It's the subtle press of your palm against her back when she needs reassurance. It's the warmth in your voice when you speak her name. But more than physical contact, it's about merging presence. It's letting her see that you're emotionally available without losing yourself. This is what mature women crave. A man who is both independent and entirely present for them. Psychologically, this touch is profound. It activates trust circuits in her brain. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, while reinforcing her sense of safety. Her nervous system is telling her, I can relax, I can lean in, I can let this man matter. And once that happens, every other man she has encountered fades into background noise. The integration touch is also about timing. It's earned over weeks, months, or even days of thoughtful interaction. You never rush it, you never force it. When done correctly, it feels inevitable to her, as if the universe itself nudged her toward you. She will remember the way it felt like coming home, like finally exhaling after holding her breath too long. Here's the truth most men never hear. Physical touch alone can spark attraction, but emotional integration creates obsession. When you master this, she starts to imagine a life intertwined with yours, not just emotionally, but spiritually, intellectually, and physically. She begins to include you in her internal narrative before she even admits it to herself. The integration touch is subtle, sophisticated, and invisible to the untrained eye, but its effect is undeniable. It makes a mature woman feel seen, understood, and cherished. It plants the seeds of love in her mind, in her body, and in her heart, simultaneously. And here's the final secret. Every touch we've discussed, presence, hand, mirroring, anticipatory, grounding, absence, leads to this. Integration touch is the culmination, the crescendo, the invisible moment where she finally realizes that she has already fallen. And by the time she consciously recognizes it, she's already yours, emotionally, deeply, irrevocably. By now, if you've been paying attention, you might feel a shift inside yourself. That's not coincidence. It's awareness unlocking a new level of understanding. This last piece ties everything together, and it's called the echo of touch. Unlike any single gesture, it's the lasting impression your presence and actions leave on her mind, body, and emotions long after you've gone. Every touch you've made, every pause you've held, every boundary you respected, all of it accumulates. She doesn't just remember your hand brushing hers, or the way you anchored her in laughter. She remembers how she felt when she was with you. Safe, seen, understood, alive. That emotional echo is far stronger than any fleeting attraction. It makes her replay moments in her mind and anticipate the next encounter, even when you're not around. The echo of touch works because the human brain links memory with sensation. When you've created moments that engage her nervous system, her body begins to store your presence as a source of comfort, intrigue, and desire. She might not articulate it, but she feels it in subtle ways. Her thoughts drift toward you. She notices similarities in everyday life and thinks of you. She imagines being closer. That is powerful. That is magnetic. Here's the part most men overlook. Consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to have repeated small, meaningful touches than a single grand gesture. Each touch layers onto the last, building an emotional architecture in her mind that's nearly impossible to dismantle. Your presence becomes a pattern she subconsciously craves. And finally, the echo of touch isn't about manipulation. It's about mastery of presence, restraint, and emotional intelligence. When you touch, guide, pause, and return with intention, you are speaking directly to her subconscious. You are showing her that a connection with you is safe, stimulating, and rare. That is the psychology of mature women falling deeply in love. Understand this. Men chase attraction, but women feel it. The echo ensures she feels it long before she ever admits it. Every deliberate, patient, emotionally intelligent touch you make today resonates tomorrow and the day after. By the time she realizes she's in love, she has already been there for weeks, without even consciously knowing why. Master these 7 touches, respect her rhythms, and your presence will linger in her mind like a song she cannot stop humming. That is how a mature woman falls madly, irrevocably in love. And it all starts with your intention, awareness, and the way you make her feel in moments she may never forget.